Welcome to our reflection, Awakening of Faith. And today, as I have already said, I would like to share with you my personal experience of faith, of the journey. But a journey with that very important moment of enduring to the very end, not giving up before the journey begins or when the journey is already on the way. Enduring to the very end. It took place in Botswana. I was cycling pilgrimage 1,500 kilometers on my own, from the north of Botswana, Kasane, to the very south of to the town called Tsabong. How it began? When I arrived to Botswana, there was a very high rate of people infected with HIV/AIDS. Every fourth person was infected with HIV/AIDS. Many people were dying. Many young people were dying. So, looking at this experience, I was asking God to give me sort of an idea. How could I personally engage in helping those people living with HIV/AIDS? And asking God for those idea, inspiration, insight, it's not just about you ask and you get it. It took me half a year. Half a year, every day, I was praying a decade of rosary, asking God for this inspiration, insight, every day. After half a year, he came up with this idea. You cycle, you pray, you make a pilgrimage, 1,500, you pray on your own. But the good thing is, it wasn't a prayer on my own. Before I engaged in this pilgrimage, we started to invite many individuals and many communities of Catholic Church and many communities of Protestant churches. They joined us. We asked them to pray every day only 5 times our Father. The intention is very clear. The intention was about for people infected with HIV/AIDS and for the cure of HIV/AIDS. And the whole project, pilgrimage, prayer, was rooted in the passage of Matthew chapter 18, verse 19, where Jesus says, where only two of you in this world agree in the prayer for one thing, my Father who is in heaven will grant upon them. 2 of you. We are more than 2. And I remember the reaction of people when we started to invite them for the prayers. As I am cycling, every day they pray only 5 times our Father. Many people, they were enthusiastic, quite happy to do that. People who were infected, and I knew quite a number of them, they were quiet, they were observing. And I remember some of my friends, Catholics, when I approached them, asking them, please, pray every day, 5 times our Father. And they said, this was very funny. They said, listen, we can give you lots of money. Really, we can give you money. But please do not engage us with the prayer. We don't have time for prayer. And I said, we don't want any money. We just want you to pray, to join us in that prayer. A friend of mine, a few days before I started the pilgrimage, he came and he said to me, are you not playing with God? Playing with God? I said, what do you mean? And he says, what happens if God does not cure this HIV/AIDS? What are you going to tell the people? How are you going to explain? Are you sure he's going to cure as you put that intention? And I look at him and I said, maybe you're right. But then I just remembered the passage. And I told him, listen, we are doing the first part of the passage. We are 2, even more than 2 people. In this world, on this earth, we have only one intention, to pray for the HIV/AIDS people and the cure, and that's what we can do. The way God is going to respond, when and how He's going to cure and respond to our prayer, sorry, it's not up to us. And I remember before I began that pilgrimage, fear. This is amazing. This is amazing. I was so afraid. My fear came to such a point that I was paralyzed, mentally paralyzed. I was really afraid of loneliness on that cycling, that journey. I was afraid if I could make it. I was afraid what people would say if I fail. Funny thing. I haven't yet started and I'm already full of fear. Full of fear. I remember in my life, quite often I had lots of good ideas, dreams, but I never put them into practice because of fear. Life with dreaming is a difficult life. It's a really difficult life. So I got really afraid. And the funny thing is, many of my people I knew quite well, they used to come and they say, you're taking a huge risk. Because the first passage of that pilgrimage was through the national park. Wild animals, lions, hyenas, elephants. Even one of them, he wanted to give me a gun. I said, stop it, I don't want a gun. And the last 3 days of the journey was through the very semi-desert. No water. I remember those 3 days I didn't wash myself. I had only water for drinking. And the very last night, oh, that was very difficult. I couldn't sleep. I was so paralyzed. Fear, anxiety. And the following day in the morning, my friends, they took me to the very spot. And I packed my bicycle with a tent, with a camping equipment, with some of my clothes. I sat on the bicycle and I started to move ahead. My friends, they accompanied for a couple of minutes with the car, but they have to go back to the town, 400 kilometers, because the afternoon that they had their work. And now I am on my own, and this is just stretched, nothing. And that's how the brain started to really be against this idea, the will of God. And the brain tells me, the logic tells me, are you crazy? Are you really so ambitious? You want to show off? You want to really to show the other people and to be a hero that you are praying and doing something for HIV/AIDS people? Just give up. Do something else, something simple. I remember that was the brain, the logic. But I kept on going. And the day of cycling, it usually begins at 6 a.m. until 11:13 a.m. Then I used to lay down under the tree in the shade because it's so hot up to 4 p.m. and from 4 p.m. to 6 a.m. or 6:30 p.m. I kept on going. And then every day I used to cycle within 1 hour 20 kilometers. And then one day I wake up and I start cycling. And there is such a strong wind against. The funny thing, when I stopped cycling, the wind pushes me back. Fear. 1 hour and I could make it only 5 kilometers. And ahead of me still hundreds of kilometers. And what is the first reaction? Fear. I am afraid. I cannot make it. So I started the dialogue with God. And I'm telling them, look, I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for people who are sick of HIV/AIDS. Please stop this wind, or change in direction, or to go to my back. And the God, what he says, is quiet. Then I say, listen, you are my friend. Please, as a friend, just respond to this. And he's quiet. And I am approaching one of the villages, and heavy rain, and very cold, heavy rain. Then I say to God, thank you. thank you for the friendship. And I think so we should stop our friendship for a while because it doesn't work. So I stopped in the village. I just had some chocolates and some juice, and then I have to go back to the road to move ahead. Few minutes of cycling. The rain stops. The wind turns 180% grades, and it goes to my back. Perfect. I'm reaching Tsabong. Finally, I'm reaching Tsabong. And I stop by the signpost with the written Tsabong. The experience, I cannot tell you the experience. I cannot express by words, but it was like the God was opening up something new dimension within me and telling me, look, the beauty, the power, that love which is in you. Endurance to the very end. I came back to my mission as a hero. It's a good feeling to come back as a hero. The people who were engaged in prayer, they were coming to me and saying, Father, thank you. The prayer has a power. The people infected with HIV/AIDS, I knew them. They were coming and embracing me, giving me a hug. And they were saying, there is life. Beautiful thing. There is life. In a prayer, there is presence of God and there is life. And one mother infected with HIV/AIDS, she says, I am not afraid now to tell my children that I am sick. Enduring to the very end. And you will learn, you will see the beauty of who truly you are. I would like to invite you for our next reflection, which is about the passage from John chapter 4, verse 40. When the Samaritans came to Jesus, they asked him, please stay with us. And that will be sort of a focus. Saying and asking Jesus, please stay with us. Greetings and have a very nice day.